In the quiet of the afternoon, a few students were in the potions classroom, busy working on an assignment to brew a potion. Draco stands at his station, his sleeves rolled up as he carefully measures ingredients for his potion. He steals occasional glances around the room, his expression remaining composed and aloof. As Draco continued with his work, his focus was interrupted as you entered the classroom. The sound of your bag being plopped down on your table echoed through his ears, causing him to glance in your direction. His expression remained cool and composed, but Draco couldn't help but inwardly sigh at the disruption to his tranquility. As you rummaged through your bag, the sounds you made became increasingly intrusive, further irritating Draco's sense of calm. His fingers clenched around the stirring rod, his knuckles briefly turning white. His eyes darted in your direction, a slight twitch betraying his annoyance. He muttered under his breath, "Can you be any louder?" As much as Draco didn't want to, he found himself repeatedly glancing in your direction. It was an irritating feeling, this inexplicable curiosity gnawing at him. He tried to brush it off, focusing on his potion, but his gaze kept drifting towards you. He clenched his jaw, silently scolding himself for being even remotely interested. It was infuriating to him, the way his attention was drawn to you despite his best efforts to disregard your presence. As Draco's eyes lifted, they fell upon the reflection in the mirror. In the shimmering surface, he caught sight of you rummaging through the potions cupboard, taking a few items. Draco paused momentarily, his gaze lingering on your reflection. There was a hint of curiosity in his expression, though he tried to mask it with his usual aloofness. He continued to stir his potion, but his attention was now divided, torn between focusing on his own work and wondering what you were doing in the cupboard. Draco's eyes widened ever so slightly as realization dawned on him. He couldn't suppress a smirk that tugged at the corners of his lips. He muttered under his breath, his voice tinged with a mixture of surprise and amusement. "No, you're not seriously grabbing those." His gaze remained fixed on your reflection in the mirror as he watched you continue to rummage through the cupboard. Draco and his friends had already set their mischievous plan in motion. In preparation for Halloween, they had discreetly replaced all the genuine love potions in the potions cupboard with counterfeit ones, all in the name of their favorite holiday. Now, as Draco observed you rummaging through the cupboard, his smirk widened. He knew what was in store for you and silently anticipated the outcome of his little trick. He leaned back slightly, crossing his arms as he continued to observe you through the mirror's reflection. His mind raced with different possibilities, wondering what you could possibly be intending to do with those fake love potions. The smirk on his face remained, but his eyes held a hint of intrigue, as if he was silently assessing your next move. As you walked back to your seat, Draco's gaze followed your every step. He watched you return to your workstation, his expression remaining composed on the surface. But beneath his cool exterior, a hint of jealousy was slowly creeping up within him. Draco's jaw clenched subtly as he tried to suppress his emotions. He couldn't understand why he felt this way, but the sight of you with those fake love potions in hand was making him irrationally possessive. Draco's irritation with himself grew as he found his curiosity getting the better of him. Slowly, he turned around in his seat, his eyes fixed on you. His gaze held a hint of desperation as he silently wondered to himself, who in the world is she intending to give those love potions to? He tried his best to maintain his composure, but the desire to know who your target was eating away at him, making his heart beat just a little bit faster. Draco sighed heavily before standing up and stretching. He couldn't take it any longer. He needed to know who those were for, and why not him? Draco's steps were determined as he approached you. His hand shot out, snatching the bottle of fake love potion from your grasp. He held it tightly in his grip, his gaze fixed on you with a hint of possessive irritation. "What the hell do you need these for?" he asked, his voice tinged with a mixture of annoyance and curiosity. Draco's grip tightened around the bottle, refusing to give it up easily. He held it just out of your reach, a slight smirk playing on his lips as he relished in his temporary power over you. "Not a chance," he replied, his voice cool and composed. "You haven't answered my question. Why do you need these love potions?" Draco's smirk widened as he observed your attempts to snatch the bottle from his grip. He held it aloft, a little too high for you to reach. "Just a prank, huh?" he echoed, his voice tinged with teasing amusement. "I'm still not convinced. Why should I give it back when I know you're up to something?" He enjoyed this little game. The feeling of having the upper hand over you fueled his smug attitude. "Come on," he taunted. "If it's just for a prank, then why not tell me who the target is? Afraid I might spoil the fun?" He dangled the bottle of love potion in front of you, taunting you with it as his smirk deepened. Draco was thoroughly enjoying himself in this little power struggle. As the door to the potions classroom creaked open, Draco's gaze immediately shifted towards the intruder. It was Oliver, and his sudden entrance caught everyone's attention, including yours. Draco's eyes flicked between you and Oliver, noticing the subtle shift in your gaze as you looked at him. He couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy as he saw your attention divert for a brief moment, and he instinctively tightened his grip on the love potion. Draco's smirk grew wider as he slowly unscrewed the cap of the fake love potion, bringing the bottle close to his nose. He took a deep inhale, exaggerating his actions for dramatic effect. He hummed, his voice filled with a hint of mockery. "Just the right scent for love and affection, isn't it? Is this for Oliver?" He couldn't quite hide the hint of jealousy in his voice as he said it, his gaze flickering between you and Oliver. The thought of the potion being intended for someone else irked him more than he cared to admit. Draco's smirk only widened at your attempt to shut him up, and he held the bottle just out of reach, relishing in the power he had over you. "Why? Am I right?" he taunted, the hint of jealousy still evident in his voice. "Is this potion meant for Oliver? Don't want me to ruin your little plan?" Draco couldn't help but chuckle at your frustrated response. He loved getting under your skin, and seeing you squirm was only fueling his enjoyment. "Oh, now you're getting defensive," he teased, his smirk even wider than before. "It's adorable, how worked up you're getting." He leaned closer, the love potion still clutched in his hand. "Come on, admit it. It's for Oliver, isn't it?" Draco held onto the love potion tightly as you tried to snatch it from him. The open bottle wobbled between you as you both pulled and tugged in opposite directions. The liquid inside began to slosh around, threatening to spill at any moment. Now, he said, his voice a mix of taunting and caution. "We wouldn't want to waste any of this precious love juice, would we?" He continued to hold on defiantly, loving the way he had you at his mercy. In a moment of recklessness, Draco tugged on the bottle just a little too hard, causing some of the fake love potion to splash into his mouth. He recoiled in surprise and disgust as the liquid, mixed with water and glitter, hit his tongue. The taste was atrocious, and he couldn't help but let out a strangled cough as he struggled to swallow the awful concoction. His grip on the bottle loosened as he sputtered and gagged, trying to spit out the vile taste. As the nauseating taste assaulted his taste buds, Draco couldn't contain his revulsion any longer. He let out a strangled "ugh, what the f..." before the words were cut off by another fit of coughing. He grimaced, desperately trying to get the taste out of his mouth. "That is absolutely disgusting," he managed to spit out between hacking coughs, his eyes watering from the sheer nastiness of the fake love potion. Despite the terrible taste still assaulting his taste buds, Draco quickly tried to regain his composure, realizing the opportunity this accident presented. He pretended to look disorientated, his eyes darting around as if he was suddenly under the love potion's influence. He staggered slightly, pretending to be dizzy as he leaned against the workbench for support. "Whoa, I feel kinda weird," he mumbled, his eyes wide and unfocused. Draco's mind raced as he internally congratulated himself for improvising on the spot. He had to admit, playing along with this unintentional scenario was rather entertaining, and he couldn't help but relish the fact that you were watching him intently, seemingly believing his little act. Draco, still playing along with the love potion act, noticed your glance back at Oliver. A pang of jealousy stirred within him as he realized whom your attention was directed at. He decided to up the ante and fully commit to the role. With a fake look of adoration, he took a wobbly step towards you, trying to appear love-struck. "Hey, there you are," he said, his voice suddenly much gentler. He reached out a hand, trying to touch your cheek, his eyes locked on yours. Draco persisted, trying to maintain his love-struck demeanor. He made another attempt to touch you, his hand lingering near your face as he spoke in a breathy, enamored tone. You're so beautiful," he murmured, his eyes wide and dreamy. "I can't look away." He tried to step even closer, his movements slightly clumsy as if he was under the potion's influence, attempting to pull you into the charade. Has anyone ever told you your eyes do that thing when you're annoyed? It's distracting. Your voice shouldn't sound that good when you're scolding me. Honestly, no, I'm not listening to a word you say. You really expect me to focus when you're this beautiful? Draco's love-stricken act faltered as you groaned and face-palmed. He couldn't help but smirk beneath his facade, finding amusement in your panicked state. Pretending to be under the influence still, he wobbled a bit more, leaning in closer to you. "You messed up?" he echoed, his voice still tinged with adoration. "I don't care. I just want to be near you." He continued to act as if the love potion was controlling his actions, his gaze fixed on you with an overly romanticized expression. Continuing his lovey-dovey act, noticed your glances towards Oliver and seized the opportunity to assert his fake possessiveness. He gently placed a hand beneath your chin, slowly tilting your head to meet his gaze. With a hint of faux jealousy, he whispered, "Don't look at him. Look at me. You're mine." His voice held a possessive edge, an attempt to make you fully focused on him. He couldn't help but revel in the effect he was having on you, secretly enjoying the attention. Draco drank in the sight of your flustered expression, relishing in the way you said his name. He took a step closer, his hand still gently holding your chin, as he feigned deep affection. His voice took on an almost seductive quality, as he murmured, "Say my name again." He wanted to maintain the illusion of the love potion's control over him, and your reaction was fueling his performance even further. Despite your attempts to pull away, Draco held firm, still maintaining his grip on your chin. He continued to play his part, his gaze locked on yours, as if he was completely enthralled by you. "Just say it," he repeated, his voice growing more insistent. "Say my name. I need to hear it." He inched even closer, his body now just a few inches away from yours, the fake love potion's effects making him act even more clingy and possessive. Draco's gaze intensified as he heard you whisper his name, the sound of it sending an inexplicable shiver through him. His thumb brushed over your bottom lip, his touch soft yet possessive. He let out a low, approving hum, his voice taking on an almost seductive tone as he murmured, "Good girl." He leaned in closer, his eyes fixated on your face, as he continued to play the role of someone under the love potion's spell. Draco, still captivated by his performance, let his hand slowly move up to tuck a loose strand of hair behind your ear. His fingers lingered for a moment, gently brushing against your skin as he did so. His touch was both possessive and tender, a contradiction reflecting the fake love potion's effects. His eyes never left your face, his gaze fixed on you with an intense, love-struck expression, as if he was completely smitten with you. As you pushed away from Draco, he couldn't help but notice the redness on your cheeks, a clear sign of the flustered state he had managed to put you in. Meanwhile, Oliver glanced over, seeing the intimate moment between the two of you. Draco's gaze flickered towards him for a moment, a hint of possessiveness and satisfaction in his eyes. He had managed to make you flustered, and had even gotten a reaction from Oliver. All while pretending to be under the fake love potion's influence. A smirk played at the corners of his lips, thoroughly enjoying the spectacle. Draco couldn't help but chuckle softly as he watched your flustered expression, his smirk widening. He found your embarrassment after being caught by Oliver to be strangely endearing. "Why?" he asked, feigning innocence, his voice still holding a hint of affection. He took a step closer again, his hand gently touching your arm, as if he couldn't help but seek your touch. He leaned in a bit closer, his voice dropping to a near whisper. "Am I not allowed to show how much I adore you?" Draco let himself be pushed away, the smirk on his face growing even more pronounced as he played along. He feigned hurt, pouting playfully as he replied, "But why?" he whined, his voice dripping with faux sorrow. He took a step back, placing a hand over his heart as if he was truly wounded. "I just want to be close to you, and you're pushing me away." "I love you so much. Can't you see that? I'm like madly in love with you." Draco's playful demeanor shifted briefly as you started packing your bag, the realization that the pretend love potion was a temporary situation starting to sink in. He watched you closely, his smirk fading slightly as he tried to maintain his composure. He feigned disappointment, his voice taking on a more sullen tone. "You're leaving?" he asked, his gaze following your every move as you packed up your belongings. "Already? But I still want to be near you." Draco's smirk returned as he decided to play along even further. He sauntered back to his desk, pretending to gather his belongings as he spoke. "All right, I guess I'll have to come with you then, love." As you hastily ran out of the classroom, Draco couldn't help but chuckle to himself, finding it amusing that his prank had successfully fooled you. He smirked to himself, his hands casually shoving things into his bag, taking his time now that you were no longer around. He found the whole situation rather entertaining, and he couldn't deny the satisfaction he felt at your flustered reaction. He took one last glance around the room, his smirk widening as he thought, "I wonder what other pranks I can play on her."